The monumental UFC Apex 100 is in the can, and I hope we never have to see any more Apex events. But if we do, then cheers to 100 more. The most Apex card of all time, with a 15th ranked guy versus an unranked guy in the main event. But hey, let's do the event recap, starting with our guy, Prates, the world's finest chain smoker, absolutely clubbing Neil Magny back to the hood. And yeah, one shot right off the temple and beat Magny in very impressive fashion. Michael Morales in the last fight, he got a spinning elbow of some sort and put Magny down and out. But first, he was getting clinched up. And, he got a lucky kind of spinning elbow. Prates actually dealt with Magny's game plan to the fullest. He defended the takedowns. He outstruck him. He dropped him once, I think, or it was a kind of a slip or some type of shit like that. But then a shot to the side of the temple puts Neil Magny out, calls out Jeff Neal and Della Maddalena. You can do Jeff Neal versus Prates in Australia. Why not? Jeff Neal already went to Abu Dhabi, had an easy fight there. So take Prates, the chain smoker, and Jeff Neal over to Australia and settle business. And our co-main event, which kind of hurt a little bit, our guy GM3 was doing good. He was actually doing really, really good. In the first round, he was winning until the elbow at the end. In the second round, he got on top of De Ridder. He handled the Dutch Knight pretty well with some light tap-in shots, but De Ridder didn't do much in terms of throwing up a submission or any kind of thing like that. And then round 3, which is, Gerald's round, he gets, mearsharded back. So, sucks to see, but Gerald will bounce back. It ain't over till it's over. So, good job from Dutch Knight Duplessis. But hey, we're Team Gerald all the way with that absolute masculine stash. Now, Topuria versus Romanus. First round, Romanus, and then Bolaños kind of just controlled out rounds 2 and 3 with the striking and grappling. Timo Arturo, he does it. Good decision. Yeah, just good performance from him. Fun little scrap, as Dana would say. Now, the first proper use of 12-6 elbows came from Jillian Robertson against Luana Pinheiro, and it worked well. Luana Pinheiro, surprisingly really good takedown defense in this fight, but coming into this fight, I had her as possibly the worst ranked fighter in the UFC. She got a split decision over an old version of Michelle Waterson and a DQ over Randa Marcos, who, if you don't know, is a 10-12 women's MMA fighter. And somehow she got ranked off of those wins, lost 2 and still remained ranked. But she showed great takedown defense in this fight. I thought she won round 1, but Jillian got on top of her in round 3. Started using some 12-6 elbows, which was nice to see. Didn't cut open Luana, but it is what it is. At least it got used. And then Malik versus Todorovich. Todorovich is a victim in the octagon. He just gets hit. He gets too scrappy. You can't solve, a striking kind of deficiency problem. And you can't be going with leg locks when you're hurt as shit with a guy who's a good wrestler and a striker as well. He's not just, he has a good wrestling base, but he doesn't really use that. He also uses his striking. So it's not like a Brock Lesnar situation early on in his career where he just gets heel hooked and can't strike back. This guy has some good boxing, and he'll put some hands. And now this guy's 1-5 and should be getting the boot out of the UFC. And yeah, LFA champion. Or even PFL, because PFL is dog shit. Todorovich, here we come. Now, Karolina Kowalkiewicz actually did really good against Denise Gomes. Denise Gomes, this chick went full masculine for this fight with some, I guess, she was Andrade. looking, but not fighting wise. She won rounds 1 and 2 with the clinch. Interesting approach from her, considering that she's a power puncher in her last few fights. But old nanny Carolina did really well in round 3. I thought she slightly edged it out. She got good sequence at the end with a back take and slightly outstruck her. Good shit from her. I guess she's on the brink of her career, so give her one last fight in front of a crowd and send her off. So, yeah, good on her for that, and good on Denise Gomes, who should have actually gotten a finish here, but hey, it is what it is. Zaleski Dos Santos absolutely bum rushes this dude, and surprised me a little bit because Zaleski usually in his recent last few fights hasn't been looking the fastest, but absolutely stormed down this regional dude and took him out instantly. Just went for 1-2s over and over again till he put him out. Good on Zaleski for disposing him easily. So yeah, now Charles Radkey versus Seberger, possibly one of the worst stoppages, considering that the knockdown wasn't even really the biggest knockdown. Kind of dropped to one knee and spring back up, and the ref just called it. Fucking ridiculous and atrocious as well. Radkey somehow, afterwards at his post-fight press conference talking about how he needs a bonus to put out these guys. Like, bro, you went to a decision with Blood fucking Diamond. 3-2 Blood Diamond. The astounded kickboxer Blood Diamond with a physicality advantage as well. But he puts out Seberger in possibly one of the worst stoppages of all time, along with Kutalaba and Kalaev. He hurt him, yes, but it is what it is. And I think Seberger is now on a 4-fight losing streak because he keeps fumbling all this shit. 1-4 or 1-5, something like that. You gotta cut him at this rate. I mean, it's not looking good for Seberger. And as for Damon Blackshear, disposes of Cody Staman. All these guys been taking Cody Staman to a decision recently. I believe Staman stepped in on short notice for this fight or something like that, but just gets him to the ground after hurting him and has the guillotine that, Staman survived, pushed on the hips, just waited it out, but then got out. Blackshear chased him to the back and choked him out. Impressive considering no one else is finishing Staman in recent times. So, yeah, I believe he's on a losing streak too, or something like that. 1-4, at least I think a 3-fight losing streak. He lost to Lapulus, lost to some other guy, and now to Blackshear. So, ain't looking good for Staman. Tresean Gore versus Antonio Troli. He's back. The Beetle. He looks like a beetle. He looks like the black version of Oral-By. And Troli is absolutely incapable of fighting. Didn't do anything in this fight. Didn't do anything against Shar Magomedov. Just absolute light work for Tresean Gore, who's not too good himself. Look good on Tough, but considering what the contestants are in The Ultimate Fighter nowadays, that's not really an accomplishment. We got, Juliana Miller became a Tough champion, right? Kurt Hollabov became a Tough champion. And people were actually, had high hopes for Tresean Gore. Pretty insane, but maybe the Cody Brundage loss, I can't get that out of my head. Maybe it was a fluke because he did get caught and put down. But, yeah, it is what it is. And as for Troli, didn't he get, charged for something a while ago with getting, in an altercation with Dern's ex or something? But it is what it is. Crazy that Dern chose this guy out of all the dudes. Some guy said, oh, it's because he's 6'5". But the guy can't fight. When he can't fight, and that, I don't know why a gal like Dern going after a guy like Troli. And as for the card opener, Melissa Mullins gets a good performance. And yeah, that's the card. Monumental Apex card. It had everything. It had pullouts. It had low-ranked fights. Little to no ranked fights as well. Low-ranked fights. What else did it have? It had finishes. It was the UFC 300 of Apex cards. Was it not? It was. And it's so fitting that we had both these Monumental cards into 2024. And as I said at the beginning, cheers to 100 more. Because you damn well know after all those renovations, we're still going to be going to that fucking warehouse to host these fight nights. So yeah, that was the recap. And peace.